right, it's time for open mic. And I have to tell you, Twitter is or X, whatever we're calling it now, it's a buzzing. Everybody's talking about you and Country Wayne. Y'all was flirting. It was getting a little hot and heavy. Is this Hollywood's newest couple, Sherri Shepherd?
Not with 9 kids, 10 kids. You know, it's so funny, because I do like to joke with the celebrities that come on and just flirt, because it's fun flirting. And so that's what I was doing. I was flirting with Country Wayne. Because are you single right now?
Yes, I'm single. I'm single.
Okay,
I'm definitely single. Yeah.
You look, I'm the type of woman you want to get with, because I ain't got no uterus. You want to get with me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have no baby.
Yep.
And then, you know, when he started acting, I was like, but you got 10 kids. This flirting is only going until we go to the commercial break.
Man, you do make a good couple, though. I thought about that. We already successful. See, this a date. What date you gonna get better than this right here?
I don't know, because I got my own stuff, because I could buy you 3 or 4 more cars. You could buy me 3 or 4 more cars. You get me 3 or 4 more cars. Like, I'm at your level. I'm at your level.
Oh, my God. Sherri,
We're the same level.
Yeah.
Because at this age, I'm not dealing with no 10 kids, because 10 kids is 5 baby mamas. And then here's the thing, when a man tell you that the baby mamas all got keys to his house and they can show up at any time, you know what that mean when you go on your first date? The one time he go to the bathroom, all 5 of them gonna have you sitting down in the living room giving you the rules.
Sherri,
Oh my gosh.
you is looking so beautiful. It's your eyes. It's your glow. You're an angel. So I gotta come at you from a whole different angle.
Wayne, you better stop with your bad self.
You're a wife.
Okay, all right. When you come back, we will talk about it. So the commercial break came, and I wasn't thinking anything more about it, nor was Country Wayne, but you have been telling me, John gets on me all the time. He says, get these celebrities' phone numbers, because you need to network and, you know, keep a relationship going. I'm not as good as networking as I want to be, but John stays on me. So I said to my assistant, Edie, I said, go get Country Wayne's phone number and put it in my cell. I wasn't thinking that we had just been flirting, and I said, oh, Lord. So he texted, and he said, here I am. And I was like, oh, good, we rooting for you. And I said, oh, no, he think I want to give, oh, my God. I'm just networking, and I tell you, and I said, we rooting for you, and he said something, and I was like, woo-hoo, and I was like, okay, this is going too far. This is going too far. And I said, that Country Way, he going, Sherri like me. She just, Sherri, look, Sherri. And then he said, and then this, he think he God, because he said, I can get you pregnant even if you got a hysterectomy. Any man that say that to you, when you know you can't have no baby, you better run. So no, I love Country Wayne. He's too young. He gets it's a lot of issues. Even though he got a big Jesus is popping. They gotta see that. Anybody got a necklace that say Jesus is popping? Them diamonds was dripping off the cross.
Well, this next question isn't about you hooking up.
And $200,000 in child support. Oh my God.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot. I was like, I hope my ex-husbands don't hear nothing about this show. Good grief. Yes.
But you'd have to have 9 more kids to catch up with
And
that.
that's not happening unless Jesus came down right now.
Now, the next question, now, this one isn't about you hooking up, but you were trying to play matchmaker with Leslie Jones and Marco. What happened there?
Oh, my gosh. So, I have questions that I'm supposed to ask the celebrities that come on, because they come on to promote their products. And so, but Leslie Jones was talking about being single and what kind of man she would like, and she said she liked mountain men. What's a Leslie Jones type?
You know what? I like mountain-looking dudes. I like the dudes with the beards and...
Have you met Marco? Okay, so Marco G, if you look at Marco G, Marco Glorious looks like he just finished climbing Mount Kilimanjaro right now. He looks like he has planted a flag in a mountaintop. So when she said that, my mind immediately went to Marco. And I said, and Leslie Jones is about 8'4", so she is tall. So I said, oh, Marco would be perfect. And I called Marco up, and Marco kissed her hand. And I was like, you don't even know you done let the beast out of the doggone cage kissing Leslie Jones's hand. Marco, just come shake Leslie's hand. Come shake Leslie's hand. Have you met Marco G? Marco G. And she ain't letting him go.
Enchanté.
Y'all didn't see it. She held his hand. He had to play it out because he was like, I can't go. I can't move. I laughed so daggone hard, and even now, Leslie Jones is texting going, where's the mountain man? Is he still there? He don't even have a name. It's Mountain Man.
And she told him, she said, he don't have to climb this mountain. I'll come down the
That's
mountain
what
for
she
him.
said. And Marco does like climbing up mountains. He really
Well,
does.
he ain't got to climb. I would come down the mountain for him. That's a... Woo! That's a hunk of burning love.
Too big to get scooped up now.
And see, this like Marco G said he said she ain't too big to get scooped up. Put that on your dating profile, Marco. You gonna have a whole new label of women coming at you. Yes, I do. At times, I do like to play matchmaker if it works. I just, because Marco got good credit. He got good credit. I got, DJ Sus1, he's got good credit, and he's single. And Marco G, he got good credit, and he's single. And see, at this age, you can't just be fine. You gotta have some good credit. You gotta have some. Y'all don't know what. Was you the one that said, being fine and picking something, you would be okay with him throwing you in the air? Was that you? Adrian Peterson is on this season. So this is what Adrian did. He lifted his partner, Britt Stewart, up in the air 3 times. Now, he is not a professional dancer. So would I trust Adrian to pick me up? Yes. Hell no. No. What? See, what you looking at is he fine. That's what you looking up. Let me tell you something about being fine. Fine ain't gonna keep you up in the air when you fall. I remember Val Schmarkovsky said to me, he wanted me to do the split. And I said, I cannot do the split. And he said, Sherri, all you have to do is close your eyes, concentrate, and allow your legs to gently fall away from you. And I told Val, that's exactly how I got Jeffrey. I'm not doing that again. Are you kidding me? No, sir. No, sir. All right, then. Do you like mountain men? All right. Somebody. I was standing behind the door. I was getting ready when they were playing, and I heard somebody tell Marco he was fine, or he was good looking.
That was her.
That was you. Girl, you were just starting trouble the whole show. He is actually, give a hand to Marco. Marco is actually very...
I think dating is a theme here, so we had a
Yes.
question on Facebook. The viewer was reading your book, Permission Slips, New York Times bestseller.
Yes.
And the girl, and they said, "Girl, you dated an arsonist."
I dated an arsonist.
Tell us that story.
Look, I dated an arsonist. I dated a prisoner. I dated, man, because everybody, it was before God, before Jesus, okay? So the arsonist, I had a boyfriend, and I forgot what I told him the story, but so I dated this guy. He ended up going to prison for arson. He was burning up buildings, and I did not know this. He would go out of the house at like 1 in the morning. Now, y'all, look, because I know they're going, Sherri, what in the world? Who are you? I was in my 20s, and so he would leave his apartment about 1 or 2 in the morning. I thought he was cheating on me. I didn't know he was burning up buildings. I did not know he was burning up buildings and things. So I would put on my clothes like a coat, and I would follow him. Because in your 20s, you like, oh, I'm gonna catch him. I'm gonna tear up the car, and I'm gonna confront. That's when you're in your 20s, And so I would follow him, but he was going so far, I got tired and came back. And then you would hear a story on the news that a building had burned up. I did not know it was my boyfriend that was doing the burning of the buildings. And then when he went, so what happened was the news did a sting on him. And I was at my job at the law firm. They did a whole sting, and my parents were watching it. My mother and my father were watching it. And they came and told me, and it was like, yeah, it's on, look at it. And I was like, ooh, that's my boyfriend. They didn't caught him. I don't know if this story gonna make it online, this one.
I'm gonna just tell you like I told my mama, you sure can pick them.
When I tell you, oh my gosh.
Now, when you were recovering from...
And then every time he'll send me texts, it's stuff that comes, every once in a while, like I still got the same email address. I've never changed it. And so he will send texts, and he'd be like, he was a musician before he was burning up buildings. And so Like when I first started the show, he was like, Sherri, I'd love to do the theme song. And I was like, what is it gonna be, fire? I mean, what kind of theme song are you gonna write for the show? But he's always like, I love to, like, if you doing something, I love to write the theme song for it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you gotta stop. So I gotta change my email because he sends it to me all the time. Okay, all right, that's...
Now, speaking of musicians, you told us a story backstage about when you were recovering from COVID.
Yes.
John Baptiste had just come on the show, and he called you to encourage you, and you may have worked yourself into a situation you're not ready for.
John Baptiste. Yeah, who is a John Baptiste fan? John Baptiste. If you don't know who John Baptiste is, please Google him. He won an Oscar for the animated film Soul, and an amazing jazz kind of hip-hop blues singer. And he came on the show, and he's so artistic. Like, he speaks in song. And so one of the things I had to do was I had to call up all of the guests who had been on the show to tell them that I had COVID, which was the worst thing in the world, to have to call people and be like, hey, I got something to tell you. That's so John Baptiste, I called him, he was so amazing. And we were talking, and I don't know if you've ever talked, I'm a very creative person, and he's very creative. So we were just like, I think we talked for like 45 minutes, just about creativity and how he speaks, and we were so creative, and he was so enjoying my speech. I think he thinks I can sing. That's what I think. He forgot that I do comedy. And as we were talking, and he was like, we gotta, when I come to New York, we're gonna get together and we're gonna groove together. And I was like, well, does that mean like go out to eat? Cause I can, like that's the groove and I'm talking about. And I said, I think he think I can sing. Like he wanna take me to the studio and we're gonna be doing, and I said, oh my goodness, we're gonna have to go to a comedy club. Cause John Baptiste is gonna be so disappointed. I can karaoke. I'll go to the studio, but I'm afraid like he just gonna be, cause that happened to me before. Like I went to see Anita Baker sing. I went to see her sing, and she recognized me. Were you with me at the time?
I wasn't, but I know this story.
So I was I had gotten tickets, and I was in the front row because I can't see. So I always buy tickets all the way in the front because I can't see without my reading glasses. So I was like in the third row, and Anita Baker in the middle. It sounded like she get ready to go to sleep every time she sings. So, in the middle of her singing, she saw me. I was co-hosting The View at the time, and she said, oh, there's Sherri Shepherd. I watch The View every day. Everybody gave me applause. It was amazing. And then she asked BB Winans happened to be there. So BB Winans, she called him up, and the question is, where are... And they did that. They sang, and I'm having a good old time. And she said, bring Sherri Shepherd up, too. Here's the thing. I look like a gospel singer, but I do. I don't know. And look at you. Thank you, girl. You said it. I was thinking it. I do. I don't know what it is about me. I look like a gospel singer. But, okay, thank y'all.
Well.
This is that is not in my purpose. It is not my assignment because God did not give me a voice. I cannot sing. So even though I look it, I can't sing. And I be telling these people, Kirk Franklin, they always want to know, like, you look like, no, I can't sing. I'm one of the ones, I'm the hype man. I'll ask somebody ask the question. Why shall we do that? That's what I do. And so Anita Baker called me up on the stage, and the whole time they was coming to get, they was like, come on, and I was like, I can't sing. I can't sing. We were at Radio City Music Hall, and I said, I can't sing, and they brought me up there and gave me a microphone. And I'm going, I said, Anita, I can't sing. And she started riffing, and I don't know, singers, when they get together, they all know, like, I always wonder, how do y'all know what kind of beat to get on? They don't know what song they gonna sing. They just start, and so her and BB started riffing, and I was like, and they're standing there, and so they started singing lyrics. I was like, I can't sing. And everybody's waiting. I said, Anita, and I finally had to go, Anita, I can't sing. I karaoke. That's what I do. My ministry is karaoke. I can do that. And I can't. And they kept going. I was like, what I got to do? I can't. So they escorted me off nicely. I ain't heard. I texted Anita Baker. I was like, that was a great concert. I didn't hear nothing back.
And that's open mic, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my God.